All right, you guys, I have Amy here, my friend, and she has something to say.
Hip circles have changed my life.
Yeah! Woo! I swear I didn't plant that. I kind of had to remind her just now, but yes, we love hip circles. They are wonderful for back pain, lubricating the joints, feeling better at work, right? Feeling better at work, on the job. She's on her feet all day. She's a nurse. So anyway, we are going to show figure eights. Now, motion is lotion is kind of our little phrase that we'll use today, and just, I love using that phrase. It's true, when you move your joints in your spine and your hips, you keep them mobile, you keep the fluids moving in the joints, and it feels better in the long term. It feels better in the moment you're doing the move, and also down the road throughout your entire day it feels better. So let's get started with figure eights. That's our focus today. I'll show from the front and Amy will show from the side. We're going to start with big figure eights. So you're going to think about taking your hip and going up and out to the side and then bringing it back in. And then the other hip is going to go up and out to the side and bringing it back in. And you'll notice that when one hip goes up, the other hip kind of goes down. And so you can just alternate between the two. So really feel, right, the oblique muscles. Really feel the obliques waking up. And I'll show you from the back too. You can really feel those muscles waking up. And I want you to notice that Amy's heel is lifting off the floor. So as she's doing these big figure eights, her heel is lifting up, and the heel going up drives the hip up. So when her heel goes up, her hip goes up. And again, you're really reaching up and also out to the side. So do a couple more and keep going, Amy. What we're going to show next is the same move, but you're going to make it tiny, and that's really going to get those muscles, those core muscles. You're going to feel it deep in there. It's a great core workout. So let's show that one now. So bring your feet a little closer together, just pelvis width apart, and you're going to keep this time your feet flat on the floor, so no heel lift. So you're still moving in a figure eight like this, and you can get started, Amy, if you want. Your knees will be real soft. You might need to take it a little bit slower, but you're going to be drawing that same figure eight, which again is like this, on the wall in front of you. So not rotating, just straight up and down. But again, your heels are flat on the floor, and so you're really isolating the movement to your waist, your hips, your low back, this area right in here. So it's a lot smaller of a movement, but it's really effective. So Amy's doing that perfectly, beautiful. It's just a straight figure eight facing the wall in front of her. All right, can you turn to the front? Let's do it together and to the front. So again, just a tiny little figure eight. I hope you're doing it with us. Now, one key while you're doing this is to make sure that your ribs aren't popped forward. So you want to really engage your core muscles. If they were popped forward, pull them back, and then you're using your entire core a lot more effectively as you do your tiny little figure eights. So again, make sure that your ribs aren't popped forward and that your butt's not sticking way back, or that you're not like this. You want to have a nice tall stance with your lower ribs pulled in as you do these tiny little figure eights. Again, heels are flat on the ground. And are you kind of shaking by now?
A little bit, yeah.
Huh? I feel it. So a couple more, finish up. Very nice, and see again how her knees are moving, but her feet are flat on the ground. So go ahead and shake it out. And let's just do one more variation, and that is a horizontal figure eight. So before we were doing vertical figure eights, kind of like you're drawing a figure eight on the wall in front of you, but now we're going to draw a figure eight on the ground beneath us. So let's go ahead and start by taking your hip, and you're going to bring one hip forward and the other hip goes back. And you're going to push that forward hip around and back. And as that happens, this hip comes forward. So now we're going to push this hip around and back, and then this hip comes forward. Got it? So you're just pushing around and back like you're drawing a figure eight on the ground beneath you. And so this time, you're trying not to do too much up and down motion at your pelvis. It's really a horizontal side to side. I'm saying that right? Horizontal? Yeah. So keep going. Amy looks perfect. Notice how she's pushing her hip back, and then now pushing the other hip back. Push back, push back. And where you can feel this primarily is, well, your whole core, but you can really feel the push back in your low back muscles, right back there. So now let's shake it up a little bit. Same exact thing, but now instead of focusing on the push back, you're going to focus on a pull forward. And then that brings the attention more to the abdominals. Do you feel that difference?
Yeah.
Good. So it's the same figure 8, but you're focusing more on a pull forward and around, and now a pull forward and around. Pull forward and around, pull forward and around. Now my knees are moving quite a bit, but my heels are not lifting on this move either. Now if they lift a little bit, it's okay, but they really don't need to. The main focus is on the waist. Your feet are maybe shoulder width apart, and you're feeling that really deep in the abdominal area. A lot of motion at the knees, and a lot of motion at the hips, not a lot of motion at the heels. So the one move that we did today that really required our heels to move was the big vertical figure 8s. That was with a heel lift. These horizontal figure 8s, you keep your heels flat on the ground. So, beautiful. I think that's it. I hope that you enjoyed that, and remember, you can do these at work, you can do these at home, you can do them in the morning, you can do them in the evening, you can do them any time of day, and they will really work your core. You'll really feel a difference in your back pain, hip pain, all that. All right, thank you, Amy. Bye. Oh, come and visit me at femfusionfitness.com. See you next time.